No time for an introduction. Let's go ahead and get into it. Today we're going to be talking about Collin Griffith. In February of 2023, Collin's mom, Catherine, actually got a phone call from the police.
Hello.
She was informed during this phone call there was a murder at her ex-husband's house. And then she realized it was the ex-husband that was killed. And then she thought to herself, wait, I have a son, don't it? And then she found out that it was the son that was the murderer. So let's talk about the dad. This is Charles Griffith. Now, Charles and Catherine were actually together for 20 years before they got a divorce. This divorce happened around 2019, and Charles was given sole custody of Collin. Now, pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. Now, Collin was with his dad, Charles, right? The dad lived in Oklahoma, the mom lived in Florida, but he lived with his dad in Oklahoma. They had another son, but he was grown by this point, so he didn't matter. But the parents were in illegal custody over Collin, in which case it seems like the dad was winning that custody battle. He stated that the mom here, he stated that the mom was actually getting on discourse, acting like she was a man and encouraging Collin to run away and do other stuff. While the mom claims that the dad was stalking her on social media and filling Collin's head with a bunch of bad stuff about her to turn him against her. Now, Collin was with his dad, Charles, since 2019, so he was about 12, 13 around that time. Amidst their custody battle, it became known, or at least Catherine said, that not only was Charles lying about her and, was filling Collin's head with bad stuff about her to turn him against him, but he also was incredibly controlling. According to Catherine and to Collin, when he came out as gay to his dad, Charles, his dad removed him from school. He had no physical contact with another human being for over 1,000 days. And that he would only feed Collin one time a day. Which just completely contradicted what the dad said. The dad said he ain't do none of this. He said that the mom, Catherine, was actually the crazy one. Charles said that Catherine abused substances and he stopped letting Catherine talk to Collin when she texted Collin a suicide note. While Catherine said that Charles would not let Collin talk to her anymore, Charles said that was not the case and that Catherine only called when she was manic off of substances. And of course that she was acting like a man online and trying to convince their son to run away. So now we're at Valentine's Day 2023. Cupid is shooting arrows and Collin is shooting a semi-automatic weapon. Well, I actually don't know what type of weapon it was. But Collin and Charles had got into another argument, in which case Collin said that his dad, Charles, had got a knife, chased him around the house, and eventually cornered him into a bedroom, where he just so happened to be in arm's reach of a weapon, and he pew-pewed Charles twice, once in the chest and once in the head. He called the police around 1 p.m., told them what happened. He said his dad had done that to him, and all charges were dropped. He got away with it. Even though it was very clear that what he told them and the evidence was very inconsistent. They was like, oh well, now we got Charles out the way. Let's go back to kitty cat cat. Now, Catherine immediately got possession of Charles. How convenient. And she took him to a therapist where he was diagnosed with severe PTSD from being locked away for over 1,000 days by Charles. I put quotations on that because I don't personally believe it, but whatever. Now, Collin and Catherine, they didn't really get along either. And Collin went to school and told the officers at the school that his mom had pulled a gun out on him. He said that Catherine pulled a pew-pew out on him and threatened to pew-pew him and then pew-pew herself. So then they was like, you know what, let's go check on them. Just see how they're doing. And a wellness check was done. Now, Big Cat Catherine, she found out about this. She was like, that boy lying. What it was his grades were slipping and she got on him about it. And Charles saw her, he was like, Mom, my grades are fine. Leave me alone, bitch. And so she took away his phone and his AirPods. After you killed your daddy, I would have never thought to take that phone away from him. No, you can have it. Now, because there was a physical altercation at this point in time, he was removed from the house and taken to a mental health facility. He was there for 8 days. And on that 8th day, when he was walking out of the facility, you know what he told them people? If y'all put me back in there with that woman, I swear to God, I'm a killer. I'm a killer. Oh, well, there's a thought, and you just had it. Let's get you back up in there. So after he told him he was going to kill his mom if they let him go, they immediately put him back in. He was transferred to a long-term facility near Jupiter, and he was there for a few months. Now, after he was released in November of 2023, he, his mom, and his grandma, so I believe her mom, they were all eating. And they got into another argument. And during this argument, he stomped a little pussy hole with some shell toes.
Yeah, girl.
The grandma witnessed him grab Catherine by her hair, yank that woman down, he kneed her in the groin, and he stomped her out. And once again, he was arrested. And he told the police officers, if y'all let me go, I'm going to kill her. And the police were like, no, you're not. Catherine went to go and say, she was like, look, I'm scared of this little nigga. Don't let him go. No, I don't want him. And I'm with you. Like, why would you want to take care of some little boy that's saying all that? Remember, y'all, if someone put their hands on you, they could kill you. Remember that. I don't care if they're your kids. F them. September the 6th of 2024, another argument. This time it was over some chores, and by this point, he had actually left Catherine's house and he went to his grandma's house. Now, the grandma was not at home. She was out of town, thugging with her around at her second home in the Florida Keys. So he had the house to himself. He was kind of house sitting. Now, Catherine let him sit for a couple of days, but after 2 days, so on the 8th, she showed up to take this boy back home. Like, look, you got to get up out of here. And they got into an argument in the front yard. Now, the grandma's neighbor was next door, and she saw this. This woman was sitting in her window looking as this boy beat up on this woman, yanked her by her hair, and dragged her inside the house. And then didn't call the police. How you gonna be nosy, see something like that, and not call the police? I thought that was the whole point. 2 hours later, he calls the police and he tells the police, hey, we got into an argument. My mom pulled a knife on me and she fell on the knife. Okay, dude. The police show up and they're like, you know what? We think you're lying. Yeah, you won't get us twice. You all no, not this time. So currently, right now, he is being charged with murder. Now, this literally just happened in September, like a couple weeks ago. So at this point in time, that's all the information I got on him. So what are my thoughts about this whole thing? Like I said, I don't actually believe that his dad held him hostage for over 1,000 days. So was he not in school? I don't know. He graduated at the appropriate time, so he had to have been doing something. Was the mom not allowed to talk to him because the dad was holding him back? Or was the dad holding her back because she was crazy? I don't know. Am I incredibly sexy? I think I am. Anyway, yeah, rest in peace to like the mom and the dad. Like, it sucks that you had a killer for a son. I mean, both of your parents? If convicted, he can be facing either the death penalty or life in prison because he's in Florida. But I bet you they're going to try to work that mental health issue. Watch. Now, it is Florida, and Florida don't play around with it. They got more people on death row than just about anybody else. I think the only people they got more than them is like California. So I don't know. But yeah, that's crazy, right?